So we've talked about habit loops, but we haven't really dove in and really, I don't know if that's a real word, dove in, but anyway, we haven't really jumped in and thought about what really happens in the brain in the moment that makes bad habits so easy to start up and to continue, right? So let's go in there. So the first step of a habit or anything really is something happens. Okay, obviously something happens. And that something is going to be a change from one situation to another, or a transition, some kind of change up. So in the case of doing homework, maybe I'm doing homework, right? And I'm doing fine. And then the something that happens, the change, is that I don't understand it. I get stuck on a problem or a question, okay? Then the next thing that's going to happen, right, is that we are going to have our brains think of the first thing that comes to mind, right? Very normally, our brains are lazy. Our brains don't want to think of 10 different options and carefully think through which is the best option. No, like more often than not, when we run into a problem, our brain is going to be trying to very quickly figure out, okay, what am I going to do? Okay, so it thinks of the easiest thing. In this case, the easiest way to avoid being stuck on this problem. Now, this is the problem. Because we're lazy, because our brains are lazy, the easiest thing is not always the best or most helpful thing. So more often than not, the last thing happens. We do some dumb or unhelpful thing and stick with it because it's the easiest thing to do, or it came to mind the quickest. Which in this case, easiest thing to do if you're feeling stuck and don't want to feel stuck is to quit. Okay, so you quit trying on the homework, you don't do it, and next thing you know, you have an F. This is how bad habits work. It's just basically the fact that our brains are lazy and we don't want to spend a whole lot of time on things. We're going to pick the closest, quickest, easiest option and we're going to go with it. The problem is the thing that we come up with that time is then going to be the most likely to be the first thing that comes to our brain the next time, right? These are habit loops formed. Okay, we did that last time. Now it's even more likely that we're going to choose the same thing, even if that's not helpful. All right. Other example might be getting frustrated with an adult, right? And the first thing to come to mind, easiest thing, is to scream at them, right? And that always makes things worse, right? Like most of our bad habits, again, are a result of just sort of mental laziness. We don't want to put in a whole lot of time, or we run out of energy to thinking something clever or spending the time to make a good decision. So instead, we make the easy bad one. That's a bad habit.